Hello there, I'm inside with my books today, and I'm thinking about another story about Eric the Elf. And this is the tale of what happened when he went to visit the Fairy Ring. So, it was a fine spring day, and Eric the Elf had decided that he would like to go out for a little picnic. So, he thought very hard about whereabouts he would go. Should he go out to the fields? Should he go into the middle of the woods and under the roots of the old oak tree? Should he go and visit some of his friends in the farmyard? No. In the end, he decided that he would visit the fairy ring. So, the fairy ring is a very special place in a little clearing near the middle of the woods, not too far from his cottage, and it is in a small clearing surrounded all about by a ring of mushrooms. So, Eric packed himself some sandwiches and a little flask of orange juice, and he set out. As he got closer to the fairy ring, he thought he could hear someone singing. He crept a little closer, very quietly, and then, peering between the branches of the bushes that were all around the fairy ring, who should he see but Griselda the fairy? And Griselda was singing and dancing about all around inside the fairy ring. She even had her magic wand with her, and she was waving it around with great abandon. And from time to time she would point it up at the sky, and sparks and stars would shoot out of the end of it. After a little while, Griselda went and sat down in the very centre of the fairy ring and sang a beautiful song about a silver unicorn. When she got to the end of the song, Eric just burst out of the bushes, cheering and clapping his hands. "Oh, that was wonderful! That was wonderful! Why, Griselda, I never knew you could sing so beautifully," he said. Griselda jumped up with a start, looking over to where Eric had just run out of the bushes. "Oh dear, oh dear! I had no idea I was being watched. Oh, how embarrassing!" she said. "Oh, there's no need to be embarrassed," said Eric. "Why, you have a very fine voice." And skipping to the middle of the fairy circle, Eric told Griselda how much he had enjoyed her dancing and singing, and how he had been coming to the fairy circle to have a picnic. And he invited her to sit down and share it with him. "Oh, oh, oh, that is very kind," said Griselda. And they sat down in the middle of the fairy ring, and they ate the sandwiches, and they drank the orange juice, and they even nibbled on a couple of slices of cake, which Eric had popped into his little pouch just at the last moment as he was going out of the door. When they'd finished eating, Griselda said, "Eric, I am so grateful to you for sharing your picnic with me, and it was so nice of you to compliment my singing, that I am going to grant you one wish." Eric was most surprised. He had never been offered wishes before. And then he paused for a moment and asked her, "Griselda, isn't it traditional to be offered 3 wishes?" "Ah, no," said Griselda. "I think you're thinking of genies. No, with fairies, it's 1 wish, and even that is very rare." Eric was, well, duly grateful for this, and he thought deeply. "Well, I know there are lots of things I could wish for, he thought. Perhaps an everlasting log pile for my fire at my cottage. Oh, or a bottomless teapot, so that I can always offer guests a nice fresh cup of tea. Oh, or perhaps I could wish to be a little taller, for Eric was not a very tall elf. Oh, I just can't make up my mind, he said. There are so many good things to choose from. Oh, dear me, I do wish I could make up my mind, he said. Well, there you are. Your wish has been granted, said Griselda with a wave of her wand. What do you mean? Asked Eric. Why, you wished you could make up your mind, said Griselda. And there we are. Your mind has been made up, she declared. Eric thought about all the wishes that he could have made. And then he started to laugh. And he realized he really didn't need any wishes. As long as he had good friends like Griselda to sit and share a picnic with, he was a happy elf.